Now, in the 21st century, I think it's fair to say that movies and music and media in general are some of our favourite things to help keep us entertained and stimulate our brains because, love behold, we are all extremely mentally ill and we can't go a minute without watching a screen, some music or a movie or even a YouTube video like this. And in the modern day, I feel like a lot of art out there has a lot of political and humanitarian subtext given to help us understand certain perspectives on things without necessarily saying, hey, this is a political movie or political music song thing. Now, usually these movies or songs with political subtext mainly come from a profiteering aspect. A company wants to make money, so using some form of political gain to make money is something a lot of companies do. And I think for the most part, people can look past that if there is a good message being spread. You'll usually get people being like, oh, keep politics out of my movies, keep politics out of my movies, but then their favourite movie will be Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. I don't know what this movie's opposing. I really don't know what this movie's going against, guys. Now, usually in the mainstream, these things will go down pretty well. It'll be something entertaining and people will enjoy it and move on with their day. But in recent times, it's not exactly gone too well. And that moves us on to Sia.
I don't know why, but I've always had a thing for special, and they're called special abilities now, not special needs.
Sia Kate Isabel Furler is an Australian singer, songwriter, voice actress and director. She's an extremely popular person who I don't particularly claim to be a massive fan of, but I can admire an artiste. And that moves us on to the controversy surrounding her latest directed movie, which has gone down to a scrumptious applause of a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 3.1 on IMDb, and a 24% on Metacritic. It's fair to say that this movie was indeed a smash hit. Now, there are a lot of things that we need to speak about today. On a moral perspective and a film creating perspective, this movie is absolutely horrific to another level. It's not only problematic on a moral level, but just in general, as a film, it appears to be quite trash. But before we go any further, I do just want to say I fully understand that some of you may not want to hear the perspective from a neurotypical individual like myself. So here is a video from a content creator that I recently discovered, Paige Leal, who is a wonderful autistic YouTuber who made a video about this situation, and I highly recommend you go and watch it. And if you're not going to leave this video, please go watch it after watching this video, because it's genuinely a really good video, and it'll probably give you a better perspective than you'll get from my video. But also my two good buddies, Mango and Laura, who are both two autistic curators, will be chiming in on this discussion in this video, because I don't think it would be necessarily right for a neurotypical individual like myself to give my opinion on this this terrible situation without giving the opinions and perspectives of actual autistic individuals on a situation which is mainly about autism. So without further ado, let's get into this mess.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
In 2015, at the Venice Film Festival, Sia announced that she was going to be making a movie based on a short story that she had written 8 years before. It seemed like a pretty chill thing, you know? I feel like a lot of people who were fans of Sia were pretty much looking forward to it, because Sia is somebody who is known as a bit of a visionary, a bit of an artistic curator, one could say. Somebody who probably is much more talented than me, so I can understand why a lot of people were looking forward to this. And the main actress in this film is Maddie Ziegler, and I apologise if I completely butchered that name, but Maddie at the time of the production of this movie was only 14 years old. So before we go any further, please don't send any hate to Maddie. I'm going to get further into Maddie's casting in this movie and about how apparently she didn't even want to be in the movie, and I apologise if I'm mispronouncing their name. But yes, this is where we get into the first controversy, because this movie was centred around an autistic character who has been betrayed by a neurotypical actress. But actors are paid to act, bro! Bro, they're actors! They're acting! They're playing somebody different to them.
Stop the cap!
If you're going to make a film about representation of autistic people, surely the best way to go about that representation is to get an autistic actor to portray that character, because somebody who isn't autistic doesn't know what it means to be an autistic person. They don't know the day-to-day life of being autistic. But an autistic person, shock horror, knows what it's like to be autistic.
Oh my God! Wow!
Now, this is a debate which has been going on for a long time now. Should marginalised people being represented in the media be portrayed by these said marginalised people? Yes, in my opinion, yes. Because number one, I feel like if you're going to profiteer off a marginalised group, at least allow that more marginalised group to gain from it and gain some notoriety and publicity and allow their careers to be furthered. You may have seen this debate in the past with trans characters being portrayed in films played by cis actors, despite there being plenty of trans actors out there, but for some reason these trans actors don't get casted in these films and it's just given to a typical cis actor. On an outside perspective, it does to me seem that these popular Hollywood film companies pretend to care about these sensitive issues and about these marginalised, oppressed groups, and then use it for their advantage to profiteer from, despite not actually caring about these groups of people that they are now profiting on from their movies. And if you are just sat there thinking, well bro, actors are just there to act, I'm probably not going to be able to change your mind on this because it's something which nobody seems to change their mind on. You've got an opinion on it and you're never going to separate your opinion from that because listening in 2021 is actually an illegal thing. But allow me to offer you a potential scenario. Imagine you are an unknown autistic actor and you see, an opening has come up in some film which is about an autistic character. What an opportunity. That is absolutely amazing. And then boom. Just some random neurotypical guy has taken your spot and they are now portraying that autistic character. The neurotypical guy that isn't autistic has had no experience of that in their lifetime, no experience of any possible struggles, and you're now still remaining unknown and you're probably not going to get a role because that's just how Hollywood is. You could create a wonderful career, give genuine representation and actual understanding of what it is like to be an autistic person in today's society, but no, we're just going to go with whatever is easiest and whatever drives profits. There is also obviously the issue of if you are a neurotypical actor, no matter how much research you've done and no matter how many autistic people you have spoken to, I don't believe that you can really come to a full understanding of what it's like being an autistic person, so you are potentially going to damage people's perceptions of autistic people with your performance, because you may actually accidentally end up mocking an autistic person by going overboard, just being wrong about what you are doing in portraying an autistic character. I think there are genuine dangers by having neurotypical people play characters of who they truly do not understand. I know a lot of reactionaries like to pretend to get mad at these things for clicks on YouTube, but personally, I don't really understand the problem with films portraying representation to be portrayed by the people that that film was representing. Now, I know it's a different film that faces different issues, but look at Black Panther, for example. Imagine if that film was written and directed by a white dude. I don't think that would make sense given the understandable political subtext of Black Panther. And if you don't agree with me because I'm some big old nasty opinionated bloke, well, to be honest with you, I can understand that. I can. So here is my good old buddy Mango to explain to you her perception on this situation.
Hello, I'm Mango, and I'm actually autistic. So here's my take on the whole thing. It seems that Sia just wants to have a neurotypical person fill this role because she thinks that they would just be easier to work with, which I disagree with. For those of you who don't know, I used to do acting in commercials and such things when I was a kid, and obviously I'm autistic. And I didn't struggle with it any more than any neurotypical person. There was no difficulties because of my autism. It's really not that hard to find an autistic actor. The thing is, it would be much more authentic of a movie if an autistic person filled the role, because neurotypical people just can't perceive the world the same way that somebody with autism does, because their brains are just wired differently. And so the character just won't be as realistic if portrayed by somebody who is neurotypical. What I wish people like Sia would know is that autistic people aren't less competent or less intelligent. We just see the world through a different perspective than neurotypical people. It doesn't mean it's worse, it doesn't mean it's better, it just means it's different. and I wish that she would realize that.
Now, before you go anywhere, I do just want to say, please go follow Mango on their social media platforms. Mango is Neon Caffeine on Twitter and YouTube, and after this video, go send them some lovely, lovely comments, because they bloody deserve it. But yes, Mango was pretty spot on with what she had to say. Now, after all of this controversy with Sia casting a neurotypical actor in this role, she understandably took a lot of backlash on Twitter from a lot of different people, including some autistic actors who would have loved to play this role. And Sia, you know, not understandably so, came out and responded with, "Maybe you're just a bad actor." Now, this is what we would call a boast moment from Sia, because, you know, she's made this movie trying to help people understand the perspectives of autistic people, and then she's come down and shut down the perspectives of autistic people when they have, you know, some worries and some concerns about the harms of this film. But nope, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Sia is the beacon of information. Sia is the absolute hero for the autistic community. Please bow down and pray to our Lord and Saviour, Sia. But no, obviously, I'm chatting utter and complete bollocks right now. In my opinion, Sia really does just not care. I really don't think Sia cares about autistic people, and that is my opinion. That is just my little opinion, but I think that's very much exemplified in this interview here.
Kate Hudson her character realizes you're in the room by seeing your wigs, which I think is so interesting because it's like a layer of a relationship, a wig, you know? And the fact that she can see through that there's a person underneath it is almost like a parallel to the main story here, which is, here's this person who can't speak, you know, she might as well be like an inanimate object like a wig, except there's so much going on in there.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I'm pretty sure this person did just compare being a human being to being an inanimate object, and then Sia just seemingly laughed and appeared to agree. She certainly didn't deny it.
Yeah.
So
And for somebody like Sia, who was claimed to do 3 years research before the production of this project, it really seems that Sia has absolutely no understanding at all of what she is talking about.
I don't know why, but I've always had a thing for special, and they're called special abilities now, not special needs.
I shouldn't laugh. I should not laugh, but Sia, autistic people aren't a member of the fucking X-Men. They're not Magneto. They're not Professor X. They don't send out brainwaves, you know, learning what people are saying. They don't fucking start bending metal. They just don't go, I can't bet it. I can't. They don't do that. They don't do that. They are autistic people. They go by the terminology of disabled. That is a perfectly normal terminology to use. Please stop saying they have special powers. They don't have special powers or special abilities, whatever you want to call it. They are autistic. They are an autistic person. Please, it doesn't take 3 years research.
Called special abilities now, not special needs.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What's 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 wrong with you?
Called special abilities now, not.
Are you sniffing shit?
And also that interview was just extremely condescending, was basically the interviewer just praising Sia. Thank you so much, Sia, for being our Lord and Saviour and being the beacon of information. But then after these interviews and after all of the criticism, you know, Sia did, as anyone who is open to criticism would do so, deleted their Twitter account. Good work. Good job. When you clearly are somebody that is willing to listen to the opinions on everybody, especially the people that you are representing in your movie, right? Right? But on a real, I really don't understand how somebody can pretend to do research for 3 years, yet not even know the correct terminologies. Now, going back to the movie, if you don't necessarily want to watch this thing to get a true understanding of why this movie is just terrible, I would simply recommend you go and watch the music video that Sia recently released, which, in my opinion, is equally terrible. Now, going back to the movie, if you don't necessarily want to watch this thing to get a true understanding of why this movie is just terrible, I would simply recommend you go watch this video here. It's basically the introductory part of the movie, which is posing as a music video. Now, a lot of people have seen this, and it's understandably angered a lot of people out there, and I am just going to refer to this part of the movie as a music video from now, because that is basically what it is. So yeah, this is a quick warning before I show the visuals of the music video, because there is a lot of flashing lights, and if that makes you uncomfortable, please just skip ahead or look away from the screen now. But yeah, as you can see now, the colors in this music video, the flashing lights, I mean, to me, it's just a little bit of a mockery, and also it hurts to watch. Like, I don't know about you guys, but it's so like hectic and all over the place and erratic. I really just don't understand how Sia would put this out thinking, yes, this is a good way to represent autistic people. And people in the comment section are basically agreeing that this video is a sensory overload and just in general a complete and utter mockery of autistic people. I actually really do feel bad for the actress in this role, because there have been a lot of posts going around stating that this actress was genuinely quite terrified to play this role and almost just did not want to be in this role because she was worried that she would be mocking autistic people. But apparently she is in some way or so related to Sia, and she was possibly pressured into playing that character. So please don't send any hate to Maddie. I really don't want that to happen with this video. Now, going back to the whole casting of Sia casting a neurotypical actor to play the role of an autistic character, Sia, you know, she came out and actually did respond to this on Twitter before she deleted her account to avoid all criticism. She responded in a lovely way, in a heartfelt way of saying, "I actually tried working with a beautiful young girl, non-verbal, on the spectrum, and she found it unpleasant and stressful, so that's why I casted Maddie." I mean, yeah, I can probably see why she found it uncomfortable. Look at the lights, look at the flashing colours, look at everything in this music video. It's uncomfortable for me to look at, let alone somebody that would actually find this genuinely really uncomfortable to work with. What did you expect? Like, genuinely, this really shows that the whole research thing, in my opinion, is just complete and utter bollocks. And she found it unpleasant and stressful, so that's why I casted Maddie. In other terms, in my personal opinion, Sia basically fired the actress. That's my opinion, though. That's not actually fact. But based on what she is saying here, it kind of seems that the person that has done 3 years research into autism doesn't exactly have much understanding of autistic people. It really doesn't seem like that. It's quite fascinating that Sia doesn't know how to accommodate anybody who may feel a little bit uncomfortable in those situations, especially when you are making a film about the entire topic and subject of autism. And even if the actor did just choose to leave the project because they were uncomfortable, as I said just now, one, why can't you just make it a safer and accommodating place for this actor? And two, why not just get another actor who is autistic?
For those of you who don't know, I used to do acting in commercials and such things when I was a kid, and obviously I'm autistic. And I didn't struggle with it any more than any neurotypical person. There was no difficulties because of my autism. It's really not that hard to find an autistic actor.
To me, this all basically does just come down to overall laziness and not actually caring, because it's way just easier for Sia to reach out to a neurotypical actor that she personally knows than holding, you know, a few weeks of auditions for autistic actors to come in and show what they can bring to the table. Yes, that would have probably prolonged the production of the movie, because you've got to go through a lot of unknown actors. But if you really cared, if you really truly cared about representation and you really wanted to spread the good message that you are trying to put out there, you would have done that. You would have taken the time to actually go through the right ways of producing this movie, but you didn't. It just went down the lazy, easy path. Which is one of the main reasons that I believe this movie, like plenty of others, was created solely to make profit, using autistic people to get money. And that leads us on to the charity that Sia partnered up with. Autism Speaks. World Kindness Day. Team Sia, kindness counts. Yes, kindness counts, unless you're the actor who is no longer working on my film. Now, Autism Speaks, if you don't know, are a charity which are regarded as basically extremely dangerous and extremely problematic. Now, when I first heard about this, I was a little bit confused to how a charity could be bad, and then I looked into it, and oh my god, how can somebody that did 3 years research not realise that this charity is bad? In 2018, only 1% of Autism Speaks' large budget went towards family services, only 20% went on fundraising, but 48% and 27% went on lobbying and research. And also, only one autistic person out of 28 individuals were on the board of directors of Autism Speaks. I mean, it's pretty fucking ironic that they're called Autism Speaks when they're not letting any autistic people speak bar one. I mean, it's pretty nuts that 27 people, that is like 99% of the people on the board, weren't autistic in a charity which is solely about autism. There are also a lot of opinion pieces out there explaining why this charity are so terrible, and it's not just on the financial aspect. It does just seem that Autism Speaks, in the opinions of a lot of people, just do not care about autistic people and are genuinely harmful towards them. It does go extremely deep, and if I do a part 2 to this video, I will possibly go further into this and explain to you guys why Autism Speaks are truly a quite dangerous charity, in my opinion, and have appeared to cause a lot of harm towards a lot of people. But it's kind of ironic that Sia teamed up with this charity, because in my opinion, this charity was set up to solely gain from autistic people, kind of like Sia's movie. Now, I'm not going to go any further here. I'm going to allow my good old buddy, Laura, to explain her perspectives on this situation and kind of help you guys understand why this charity is problematic and why Sia's actions in this situation are also problematic. And I don't know why I'm saying problematic, because I actually really don't like that word, and I'm just going to apologise. See, Sia, it's really easy to say sorry. You don't have to delete your Twitter account.
Okay, sorry if this is a bit chaotic. I hope this is editable. I'm not very good at speaking in this sort of format. So yeah, sorry in advance. I hope it's useful. Thank you at least for asking me my insights as an autistic person. We like to say nothing about us without us. So yeah, I appreciate you getting in touch about this sort of stuff. Hopefully it goes without saying that a neurotypical performer and actor like Maddie Ziegler performing or pretending to have a neurological disability is not an okay performance at all, especially in the way that music acts and the behaviors that she learned for this movie, because they're very real for a lot of autistic people. So it's a mockery, it's a caricature, it's very harmful in that alone. But besides that, the organization that Sia consulted, Autism Speaks, is notorious for making fear-inducing, shocking imagery in their awareness content, and that rings through in this movie as well. I don't know to what extent they are involved in the process of making this movie, but it very much falls in line with the idea that they're trying to perpetuate, and this idea being that neurotypical people around autistic people are the victims of the behaviors and the challenges that autistic people face, and that they're in need of a neurotypical hero, not much unlike the now Golden Globe nominated main character that Kate Hudson plays, and even the way that Sia seems to see herself as, judging from the way that she speaks in interviews about wanting to help raise awareness for these specially abled people, as she describes them, to save them. Like, they need this hero to save them, and to they praise this person for, you know, essentially helping this what might as well be a inanimate object or a wig, as an interviewer at Variety said. The name for I forgot, but Sia very gleefully nodded at this statement, which made my skin crawl, honestly. But she might as well be in this movie, unfortunately. And I think that says enough about the harm that this movie does. It's not about, and it's not for autistic people at all. It's yeah, it's pretty bad. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that this movie, besides that it is harming and further perpetuating the idea that we are a burden, it's harming autistic people directly by affecting their inner self-image in that way, but it also stagnates the understanding that we have of autism in media and in all content further. We are still using very harmful, outdated techniques like restraint and forcing people to act neurotypical when they're autistic or neurodivergent in any way or disabled in any way, because that is curing them while ignoring the actual challenges and symptoms that autistic people have. My stimming, for example, me hitting myself on the head, which is also something that Maddie caricatures in her performance, which is very upsetting to see to myself, because they don't go into the effects of that. They just go in how shocking it looks. They restrain her, and there's no further explanation. While I'm sitting here, the stim I learned because I was forced to unlearn my other stims and my other behaviors, and because my symptoms are not taken care of. The symptoms that cause me to feel in this way, that cause me to stim in this way, are the things that we need to solve. And for every autistic person, that is different. So I think it falls flat on what it's actually trying to do, what I hope they're really trying to do, because there is a severe lack of research, and because of the organization that Sia works with. Autism Speaks is a massive organization. People that on the board work at Samsung, PayPal, all kinds of big corporations, and some people on the board make up to $395,000 a year. Working for Autism Speaks is massive. It's absolutely massive, and it's very easy to go to them, speak to them, and think, I'm done, I've done my research. I am disappointed that that's the extent of her research, and that is where she ended up making the movie from, because it just reeks of laziness. It reeks of not caring about autistic people at all, because if you do more than 10 minutes of research into Autism Speaks, you know that they are financially irresponsible, that they are disliked by the autism community and people who love them, and that they're doing more harm than good, especially considering almost none of their money goes towards actual autistic people and their families.
Now, before we go anywhere, I do again just want to say, please go follow Laura on her Twitter account and on her Instagram account. She is called Siren on Twitter, and I would really appreciate it if you go dropped her a follow for featuring in this video and allowing you guys to have a much better perspective than I could have possibly gave you. Send us some love, send us some attention, and send us some likes on her great art, because she is a wonderful artist. So yeah, I think Laura basically covered that better than I could ever possibly do so, and now Sia has actually, in my opinion, gone on to contradict her previous points about actually trying to hire an autistic actor. Because in the recent past, Sia has basically said that she could not create this movie without Maddie.
I realized it wasn't ableism. I mean, it is ableism, I guess, as well, but it's actually nepotism, because I can't do a project without her. I don't want to. I wouldn't make art if it didn't include her.
Then maybe don't make this movie. If you can't hire an autistic actor to be the main actor in a film about an autistic character, maybe don't make this movie. Or, even better, if you want to continue making this movie, great, do so. But make Maddie the secondary main character, a neurotypical character, and then get an autistic actor to play the autistic character. It's really simple. It shouldn't actually be this difficult at all. It shouldn't be this massive controversy. It should have been something which could have been sorted very easily by some sensible and heartfelt decisions, but apparently not. Apparently not, and Sia clearly doesn't want to take any criticism whatsoever. Because Sia did actually apologize, but then, as I said, deleted her Twitter account, so I guess there's no form of criticism being directed towards her personally. So yeah, I'm just a little bit confused about her handling of this entire situation, especially for somebody who was such a mainstream popular celebrity. And honestly, that's one thing I can conclude with this situation, is I don't understand how Sia managed to get herself in this position. It's something which could have been so easily avoided Instead, simply do not be a neurotypical person profiteering off autistic people. That is never going to go well. I do not understand why you would do that. And that is why all the monetization, all the money that this video will make will go to a select charity of your choice. So if you want to go to the comment section right now and let me know a charity that you want me to give the monetization of this video to, I will select one of your comments and carefully look at these charities to make sure that they are a safe, actual heartfelt, good, empathetic charity. Now, I can't promise that this video will make much money because YouTube do have the habit of demonetizing sensitive issues because, you know, it's in their guidelines, and I will let you guys know around in 2 days' time what's going on with the monetization, because that is when it will update. But yes, in conclusion to this situation, in my opinion, this is once again another case of a celebrity simply trying to boost their social status and profiteer off a marginalized group. This is an actual trend which keeps happening, and it's genuinely quite disgusting. It does also stretch out to YouTubers using genuine massive social issues and just using it to gain from. And, you know, if a good message is being spread, I'm usually not going to complain because, you know, overall good positive things are being put out there, even if the undertones are for bad reasons. But in this situation, there isn't a good message. It is a harmful music video. It is a harmful movie. In the movie, it appears that it's mocking autistic people, and overall, there is no real representation, and in my opinion, it's just only endangering autistic people, which is just a terrible thing. But that is the ending of this video. I'm sorry if it was a bit all over the place. I really tried to do my best to do as much research as I possibly could. Not 3 years research, but then again, nobody in this situation did 3 years research. They only lied about it. But yeah, that is the end of the video. Please drop a like because I'm sure we will get some angry Sia fans in the comment section. So please like this video. Let's get it to 50,000 likes, and please subscribe to the old YouTube channel, which is just down below there. You can subscribe right now. I would bloody appreciate it so much. But yes, thank you for coming along, and I will probably see you tomorrow. But also, social medias are inabber69 on Twitter and inabber on Instagram. Catch me over there. Catch me over on Twitch playing Minecraft on ShyBestMP. But yes, that is the ending of this video, and yeah, have a good day. I'm sorry.
This is how you eat a Big Mac.